So welcome back to another episode, and welcome to the best games of the year in 2022 so far for me personally. And I want to say something here. I want to pick some choices that are not the obvious ones, like Horizon Forbidden West and Elden Ring. Those all absolutely make sense. Those are games of the year. I want to talk about a few smaller games that I think really deserve to be talked about. And I'll ask you guys, what are some of your favorite games of this year? Let everybody know down below. And I'm going to talk about some other games that are coming out still in this year that I'm really excited about, and they are unusual choices. You'll be like, what? Those are your choices? Yes, they are. So let's start off with the first game of the year to me of 2022 so far. And that is a surprise, one that I didn't see coming. I started to play it and I was like, I really like this. And I got kind of busy. My best friend came over, Rob. He'd finished the game 3 times, and then we went off in the other room and started playing it. And I gotta say, it's a magical game, and that game is Tunic. Yes, I'm picking this as one of my games of the year. It's super magical. Yes, it's very much a Zelda clone, but to call it just that would be doing it a great disservice because there's a lot going on here. The art style alone is beautiful. It's its own thing, and that alone is gorgeous just to look at. But it's your little fox. It's the gameplay. It's you exploring the world and unlocking things and discovering secrets and the world building that they do there. The game is simply charming, and you can't take yourself away from the game. You gotta see here its strengths, that's for sure. If you like old school games like Zelda, the overhead stuff, there's a 3/4 overhead, and it's got some great puzzles, really unique stuff, and man, had a lot of good times playing this so far with Rob, and a high recommendation for him and definitely for me. Now, the next one I covered on the channel. I did a first thoughts video on it, and I want to talk a little bit more about it, and that is Ghostwire Tokyo. I think one of the most forgotten games of the year, and I'm not saying that in a good way. I think most people were like, oh, I don't think I'm into that game, or I'm going to pass on it. Even I was going to pass on it. I didn't think it was going to be my style of thing, and I started to play it, and the first person perspective is really excellent, and then all of a sudden the gameplay gets in there and you're doing all these attacks and all these combos and skills and whipping your enemies across the screen. It is great stuff, and it's the investigation, it's the story here that really keeps you involved, and it is one of those games that I think everybody's passed over and said, oh yeah, maybe, I don't know, it doesn't seem my type of thing. There's some other bigger games, and there's a lot of bigger games when it came out, and it kind of got lost in the shuffle, and I believe for me personally, it's one of those games you should really check out. Maybe it'll be on the cheap a little bit later on, but still, I think it's highly worth jumping into for the investigations, for the combat, the story, the eeriness of it. It's a lot of fun. Now, the next game is an interesting one because I've gone on record as saying that it's really good and it's a bit of a letdown at the same time. And it is both those things, but I think the strengths are higher than the weaknesses, honestly, and that is the King of Fighters 15. And I'm saying that because it's the best fighting game of the year so far, and I'm really enjoying it. I love SNK and Neo Geo, right? So I'm really at home with the King of Fighters. I always have been since I picked it up, the King of Fighters 94 back in the day, and loved that game. And so here we are again with the King of Fighters 15 now. What is its letdowns? Its letdowns are the graphics are a bit of a letdown at certain times, and they're really, really good at other times. So it's really one of those weird balancing things. The one thing I really like is the balance of control. The control feels really great. Like for me, picking up Terry Bogard, I feel very, very at home with the controls, and it controls perfectly for me, and I like it. And I've been playing it, and the more and more I play it, the more and more I'm like, I want this in my games of the year because the King of Fighters is back, and I think it's really, really good. Do I want it to get better in the future? Absolutely. I want all games to get better in the future. Am I upset by this game? No. It's a game of the year for me. It is for me, but I'm a King of Fighters fan, and the game has been growing on me. Big time. Get ready. So for the last week, I've been really, really sick. This is the first day I've been able to get my voice back and all that stuff. It was a bad thing for being sick, but it's been a great thing for video games because I got to play a few games that one of them I completely said no to. And one of them I was lukewarm on, then I liked, then I was lukewarm on, and I'm coming back to. That is Triangle Strategy. I'm back in it big time, and I want to say that I initially played the demo, and I thought the demo was good. I enjoyed it, and then I started to play the game, and I'm telling you, a lot of playing video game stuff is about the mood you're in at the time. So I had a lot going on, and I think I was really busy, and I was trying to do Triangle Strategy, and I'm like, there's so much story going on, there's so much micromanaging, and that's a strategy game. I mean, what the heck am I saying here? But I don't think I was able to give it the time it deserved, and I had some time, and I gave it the time it deserved, and it deserves this time because the game is really, really good. If you like strategy games, only if you like strategy games. And at first the story for me was like, there was so many characters talking, so much interaction that it's overwhelming. But that's what turned me off at first. I'm like, oh, maybe this is too much. I was busy at the time. Where when I had the time to take it all in, I was like, I really, really like this world building we're doing. I like these different countries. I like the conflict. I like it. I like the characters. And I love the graphics. They're really growing on me again. I mean, I think what it is, it's been a long time since I played a strategy game. And sometimes you just have to keep at it for a bit. Then all of a sudden, you click and you get addicted and you're like, oh man, this is really, really good. So Triangle Strategy is a game that, honestly, if you played the demo, go play it again. Go play it again and just see if it's for you. And I'm glad I've revisited it because I almost made a thing of missing it. What do you guys think of Triangle Strategy? Let me know down below. Okay, here's my most controversial one for myself personally. This is funny. So I was doing Triangle Strategy and I was enjoying that, and I'm like, okay, I've done a bunch of that. I'm like, I want something different. I want something that makes me happy because I was so ill. I'm like, what can I do? What can I play? And I'm like, and then my mind thought of this one game, and I'm like, no. I'm not particularly into this character, and I know there's so many of you out there who love this character. And I want to say, I don't hate this character or dislike this character. It's just that I don't play the games very much. I'm not really into the series. And that's okay, right? I like a lot of series that I don't play, that they're not exactly for me. And that character, oh my god, it's interesting. I've always enjoyed the character and think it's really cool, but I've just never really played the games too much. It's like, oh, it's cool, it's for other people. Where I was kind of sick and I was like, maybe I was a little, getting a little strange with the fever and all that, but I was like, I want something colorful and happy. And there was a game that came out and I was just like, yeah, well, I'm not playing that game. And that is Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. Yes, I ordered it off Amazon and it arrived and I'm like, oh, what have I done? I mean, I'm not into Kirby games. I'm not against Kirby, don't hate him, but I put it in. And my god, I want to say that I was like, bam, to myself, like, dude, you almost missed a really good game. Like, I mean, and especially having a channel, I need to cover a lot of games at times. I need to have a breadth of games out there to talk about. I can't just always do the same things. And I'm glad this is one of those moments. It was kind of like an Ace Combat, Ridge Racer moment for myself. Those are games I didn't play in the past, and I played them, and I was like, oh my god, what have I been missing out on? And I started to play this, and I'm like, I'd be missing out on Kirby. And boy, oh boy, even being super sick, it really brightened my days. It really, made me feel a lot better. And it's just so charming. It's so charming, it's so colorful, it's so cute. I mean, getting the different abilities from your enemies. I mean, it is cool. And some of the puzzles and stuff, some of it is like, it makes me laugh. It's so funny and cute. And I think that's what it is. I don't play cute games. And that's why this was being very refreshing. And I was playing it, I was like a bunch of hours in, and I'm like, well, this is like a game of the year. I'm like, John, this is a game of the year. This is fun. And I was having fun. I'm having a great time with the game, and I'm mad at myself that I kind of passed up on it when it first came out. What do you guys think of Kirby and that I missed it all this time? And oh my god, I mean, I think going into full 3D the way they've done, I mean, it's just been incredible stuff. And guys, I'm not done with the episode yet. I got a few things I want to talk about still. But what are your games of the year? Let me know down below. Let everybody know down below. Those were mine. And I want to pick some ones that are not the obvious choices. Some that have really grown and meant something. Some that started, weren't really good, and all of a sudden like, oh wait, this is really good. I want to put those in here for sure. Now, I want to talk about, this is an interesting subject, all of the games that are coming out for the rest of the year that I'm super interested in. I'm not going to talk about the big obvious ones. Oh my god, I was looking the other day, and all of the games that are really making me excited are games from the past. They're all collections. Okay, I mean, these things are the things that are really making me go, oh my god, I'm excited for these, and I'm so thrilled they're coming out. You know, we're getting Shredder's Revenge. My god, that game is a love letter to the TMNT of the past, the arcade games, on all of the games, right? That game looks amazing, and I think everybody who's into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is super thrilled about that game. And oh my god, not only does it stop there, we're getting this Cowabunga collection, which is like every TMNT game ever made on one game, you know, in one cart, on one disc. Unbelievable. As a big fan of the franchise, I can't believe it. It's like they're giving me everything that I could ever ask for as a TMNT fan from those video games, from the arcade games. This big compilation. That is amazing. What do you guys think of that? I am so excited about these collections. I like the Shredder's Revenge on its own, the Cowabunga collection, but it doesn't end there. The Capcom Fighting Collection is coming out. You know, Darkstalkers in there. I can believe it. Even Warzard, you know, Red Earth. I was just talking about that in an episode a couple of weeks ago in Games I Hate. I was like, I can't believe it. That, yeah, we're getting a collection now with that game included. And just having Dark Savior and Darkstalkers come out, I never thought we'd get that. I've been waiting for this collection for a long time. We got the Street Fighter collection a few years ago. That's great. I always played that. Always happy to have that. So to have a collection of the Dark Savior games and the Darkstalker games, incredible. Love having that. That's going to be really, really great. And then, do you see what's happening here? We got Shredder's Revenge, all kind of like 2D stuff. We got the Cowabunga collection, which is all 2D stuff. We got the fighting, you know, the Capcom Fighting Game collection, 2D stuff, and then the Capcom Arcade Second Stadium collection is coming out. And I'm like, I saw that announcement the other day, and I'm like, this is unbelievable. All of the games from my childhood that I would play in arcades is coming out in one huge collection, and I was just marveling at all the games that were involved in that collection in the Stadium too. I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, it's weird. It's weird. It's like everybody's cashing in on the nostalgia of all people like my age from the past, and it's working. It's working, okay? I'm buying all of these collections, and I really hope for those Capcom collections that there is physical versions of the games. You know, just like the Capcom Belt collection that was released a few years ago. I was so happy to have the physical of that. I hope they do that for the Capcom ones as well. Right now they're digital only, but I'll definitely try to review those or talk about those in the future when they do come out. But isn't it stupid? All the games that I'm really excited about for the rest of the year are 2D games from my past. I mean, yeah, they're older games, but they're in a new collection, and I'm just, to be honest, I'm happy to be living in a time where these games are not forgotten. And I started this show because I thought a lot of games were going to get forgotten and never remembered again. The companies are still bringing them out and still keeping them alive, and so I'm really, really thrilled about that. So, guys, there's my episode. I can't believe I did it while being sick. Perfectly done. I'm very happy about it. So, anyways, guys, until next time.